I ain't worried about nothing, I ain't worried about nada. You're sitting pretty impatient, girl, I know you gotta put them in hours, baby, make it harder. You're sending pic after picture, girl, give me fire. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, 'cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, but I gotta put in work. I ain't gotta go to work. Let your body do the work. We can work from home. Oh. We can work from home. Oh. Let's put it in motion. Girl, give me a promotion. Let's make it feel like a vacation. Turn a bed into an ocean. We don't need nobody, I just need your body. Nothing but sheets in between us, ain't no getting up early. You know I'm always on the night shift, and you can stand these nights alone. Yeah, you don't need no explanation, 'cause baby, I'm the boss at home. I ain't gotta go to work, but I gotta put in work. I ain't gotta go to work. Let your body do the work. We can work from home. We can work from home. We can work from home. Yeah. We can work from home. I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. No, I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. Oh, I don't wanna know.
Wasted. The more I drink, the more I think about you. No, I can't take it. Baby, every place I go reminds me of you. Do you think of me, what we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? My friends are acting strange, don't bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. No, I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. Oh, I don't wanna know.
Every time I go out, yeah, hear it from this one, hear it from that one, that you got someone new. Yeah, I see but don't believe it, 'cause even in my head, you're still in my bed. Maybe I'm just a fool. Do you think of me, what we used to be? Is it better now that I'm not around? Friends are acting strange, don't bring up your name. Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. No, I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, loving you so, the way I used to love you. Oh, I don't wanna know.
No more please stop. No more hashtag booed up screenshots. No more trying to make me jealous on your birthday. You know just how I made you better on your birthday. Do you like this? Do we like this? Do we lay it down for you, touch your like this? Matter of fact, never mind, will I let the past be? Maybe he's right now, but your body's still me.
I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, love you so, the way I used to love you. No, I don't wanna know, no, who's taking you home, love you so, the way I used to love you. Oh, I don't wanna know.
We do this every time. Seasons change and our love will cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, let go. I got a feeling that it's time to let go. I say so. I knew that this was doomed from the get-go. You thought that it was special, but it was just a sex doll, and I still hear the echoes. I got a feeling that it's time to let it go. Seasons change and our love will cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, baby, you don't understand what I'm going through. It's only me. What you got to lose? Make up your mind. Tell me, what are you gonna do? It's only me. Let it go. Seasons change and our love will cold. Feed the flame 'cause we can't let go. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away, I dare you to do something. I'm waiting on you again, so I don't take the blame. Run away, but we're running in circles. Run away.
I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way I'm not a pet. to close my eyes, man, it hurts sometimes. I fall into your arms. I'll be safe in your sound till I come back around. For now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, but now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you love.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fists. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gift, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lives. But I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I want something just like this.
I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were that someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time, but darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, you heard it, darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love
it's so easy.
Now that one's on.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you push this red button,
And that is gonna.
see, then it works.
Okay, so just for 5 minutes. I don't like to be in front of it. Okay. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Deze doet het ook?
Oh, come on. You can do better. No? Okay. Just a little bit of more energy today, please. Woo! Okay, good. Now we're talking. Okay, so it's really strange, guys, because I haven't seen you since I think you started block 1 and half block 1. So this is really strange. What I would like to do is just to say we are live streaming right now. So please turn back and wave to the people that they're seeing you. We cannot see them, but I guess they're there. So what I will do is I will make just a couple of slides. I will introduce the speakers, and then we will kick off our pressure cooker week. So welcome, all right, to your last experience with our program. So we have a special speaker to do the opening of the pressure cooker. And that will be Jessica. She is our new course director for all masters. So very big welcome, Jessica. And then we have a few keynote speakers, and this is the sequence that they will come up during the different days. But we will come back to that because now I would like to pass the floor to our course director. Do you prefer this or this?
No, just give me that one. That's fine.
Okay.
Yes, good morning. So also a very warm welcome from me. Nice to meet you all, and a very special welcome to Mr. Recour from Rumfeld, who will be presenting the assignment today. Very happy to be here, actually for 3 very different reasons, and one of them is that I would be happy to be anywhere else than behind my computer screen at least once a week, and that's today. So I thought about what I would wear for more than 2 seconds. And I think my step count now already exceeds 2,000. Well, that's very rare these days. So, and I'm sure that's the same for all of you. And I mean, I can make jokes about it, but it's really something serious, I can imagine, for all of you to study at home alone behind your computer and not be here. So I hope you do enjoy this kickoff here today in real life. Also for me, since I only started in September, this is the first time that I really in person get to meet some of my colleagues, which is very nice as well. And the first time that I see you in real life. So, welcome again. Hi. The second reason why I'm very pleased that we're all here is because we're here with students, with a company representative, with lecturers, and working together on specific challenges of a company is really the essence of what a University of Applied Sciences is about. It's what sets us apart from research universities, and it's what we're good at. And here we're all literally together in the same room, 1 week working on this assignment of Roomveld, the company that you represent, and that you'll tell us all about the assignment in a minute. But this is really the essence of what we're all about. And to have it all combined in 1 week and now here working on this special assignment together is what is, well, for me, very exciting for you to do. I was going to say for me exciting to do, but I won't do it. You will do all the work. And you will do it in a pressure cooker format. And that's the third thing I'm very enthusiastic about. Because it's a variation to the didactics and the program that you're used to. Having a series of lessons throughout a week and during a period of 7 or 8 weeks apply theory to an assignment. Now you do it in a very condensed form under a lot of pressure. The word already says it. It's a pressure cooker. And I think it's very good that you get acquainted with this type of with this method of working, because you can apply it later on in real life as well. And for me, it always is a very effective method to get to solutions fast, if it's necessary to do that. And to work together under a lot of pressure, which will pose a lot of challenges to you this week as well. So I wish you all the best and good luck, and I will be there on Friday at the end of the day, so I'm looking forward to see the result of all your work of this week. Good luck.
Thank you, Jessica. Now we will start with Dirk Young. Dirk Young, thank you for coming. I will upload now your presentation. And this is your clicker.
Okay.
You prefer the...
The microphone's open there, right?
You prefer to be
Microphone's
here,
So
or...
we have a headset.
Okay, then I take the microphone which is open. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Good. Yes, it works. Good morning, everyone. Good to see many of you, and I can see the others, but welcome also here this morning. My name is Dirk Jan Recour. I'm managing director of this company which you see here. It's a company which is about 400 meters from here located, so we are quite close in Capelle aan de IJssel. So it's kind of a home match, but maybe even more a home match also because I started my studies, my career, that's a little while ago, but here in this building I did, as it was called, and in those days, the HAO. So a little bit familiar with what you're going through, although the programs are totally different for sure. I've been working with Roomveld since 2008. And before that, I've always been active in companies and in roles. In the beginning, more in commercial roles, trader roles, export management roles. So as a trader, you buy and sell, and you have the roles in one hand. As an export manager, you're more focused on the sales part. I've been active in the foodstuffs also mainly in that sense. Then it was around about 2000. Then I wanted to make a little bit of a sidestep, and I worked with DHL XL Supply Chain, which is not about DHL, is of course about the parcels, but a very big part of DHL is about supply chains, managing supply chains. Worked there for 6 years, came as a non-logistic person, left as with a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, but I found out that a corporate, a big company is less to my preferences in the end. So I restarted again in the trade, in the export of and import of food products, and got the opportunity to come with Rumveld as managing director. Enough about me. I'll take you through these slides. I would welcome questions. For me it's all pretty clear, of course, what's here, but I do understand that for you it's all new, so do pose questions. That works to get a good and thorough understanding, because the challenge in the end needs sufficient understanding of the contents to really come to something. That's what I'm sure of. Okay. Rumveld, founded in 1990, and we are part of a Dutch, long-established group, which is the Monchy. The Monchy is really a Dutch name from a long time ago as well. So pretty traditional from that sense, but pretty modern and up to today in the sense of our businesses, of course. As Rumveld, we do about 80 million euro turnover, and the elevator pitch is always that as Rumveld we import nuts, dried fruits, seeds, superfoods from where it grows, and it grows all over the world. We'll come to that later. We import that in full container loads, we store it, sometimes we process it, and we redistribute it to business customers in the same form or processed, and in smaller batches. That's in short what we do. That's in short what an agro importer does, and that's what we do with our assortments. We import from all over the world, and we export. 50% of our business is the Netherlands, but the Netherlands also with customers who have European distribution, and big markets for us outside are Germany, the UK, and Scandinavia mainly. We do something to France, we do something to Spain, yes, but those countries are most important for us. This is also, of course, a customer presentation in the end, so you will recognize that from some phrases, I'm sure. We want to be the preferred supplier for organic and conventional nuts, superfoods, dried fruits for our European customers by managing the supply chain from local farms to our customers' product line. More about the supply chain, obviously, later. Your course, your master program is a lot about sustainability, and no news. The world of food, of agro importing food, is also a lot about sustainability, and we noticed that by the day, and not since yesterday, but it goes fast. Also more about that later. So we want to create the best sustainable added value for our stakeholders, but sustainable also in the sense that it makes sense. Sustainable in the sense that you really create an added value. In the company I always say we don't need buyers, we need customers, because customers, they appreciate and want to pay for the added value. And a buyer does the business because it's the lowest price, because it suits him, and next time he would not be there. Of course we have buyers, but customers is what we need. And added value is closely linked to that. In that total supply chain and the stakeholders, it goes obviously from farmers really to communities over there, and It's about quality standards in the supply chain, much more about that later on. In order to contribute to a more sustainable planet for future generations. That's, of course, definitely what also drives us. But next to the fact that, as a company in that field, you need to make money. You need to do your things. You need to be there also for the basics. So it's a field of more and more pressing factors where sustainability and adding sustainable added value is becoming more and more important in the whole supply chain. The last line is about a reliable financial partner that keeps contracts and commitments. Probably you would say, yeah, that seems like sanity, that's logic. It is, but in our world, the world of agro-commodities, not specifically only nuts and dried fruits and seeds, it's about price fluctuations. It's about crops, it's about market factors that influence availability, drive demand and supply. And yes, it is the case that some companies, to put it bluntly, when they have made a contract with you as a company in a pretty early stage and prices rise over time, yeah, they don't automatically keep their contractual obligations in that sense, and then you are defaulted. So that's also something to keep in mind also for our added value. We are also kind of a insurance certificate for our customers. We always supply. So it's our problem if we are defaulted. So being a reliable, strong financial partners which keeps commitment in a fluctuating world is, in our business, quite important. It should now go to the next slide.
Oh, that's really weird. It worked before. No, it's not working at all.
Seems to be locked or something. Ah, yeah. Well, I can also do it with the...
now it works. Okay,
yeah?
let me see.
Okay, I'll
yeah.
take that.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, top. Thank you. So here a little bit more of our group structure. In our group, we are a group of companies, family-owned, mid-sized. So we are, with all the people involved in all the businesses, about 300 million turnover and about 300 people as well. That's about it. We have a toy division. The Dutch definitely know Jumbo, and maybe there are Spanish here, they know probably DZ, which is about toys. We have in fact nothing to do with that, but it's part of the group. And then we have a trade division in which Rumveld is one of the companies, the biggest one in that division. The other companies are about the same business model, whereby Notenbeurs and Foodtrend are also not trading companies, but also packaging companies. You will see it a little bit more later because we do cooperate within the group. And the Machine Natural Products is quite closely linked. They do the same as we do, but they do it with vanilla and with spices, but vanilla being the mainstream. Well, we obviously do work together a lot. So that's the group. It's an ambitious group. We have, although we are long established, the family has expressed their ambition to really grow faster. It's now 5 weeks that we have within the trade division. It's a new role, CEO, and his task is to further drive growth autonomous, obviously, but that's also, let's say, my role within Rumveld. But growth within the group also related to acquisitions. And that's not only or purely financially driven. That's also driven by the strategy and the understanding that you need a certain size and scale to do your business also tomorrow, I would say. So that's for the coming 5 years, a pretty ambitious plan is set out in that field. Back to more looking at Rumveld. The head office is here. Yeah, we always say Rotterdam because Capelle aan de IJssel doesn't sound so sexy in other parts of the world, so Rotterdam is known. Here we have the trading, which is purchase, sales, sometimes interlinked. The quality assurance department, the logistics, customer service departments, financial departments, that's all here. Our sourcing is done partly from here, and from here I mean people are having that role and responsibility to do the sourcing. Pre-COVID and after COVID, with a lot of travel, at least 2 times to origin, depending on your product group. But we also do have dedicated people in origins where we are pretty strong from a purchase point of view, and that's in South America, and that's in China. And there it's in South America is a 1-person office, in China is a 2-person office. But that really brings added value for us, because you have much more with your feet on the ground in the origin. You hear what's happening much more. And South America is for us quite important. Also, we do from the sales side have offices abroad in Europe, and that's also 1 or 2-person offices. 3 even in the UK we have 3 people. In Germany we have 2. In Austria we have 1, and I will come separately to Baltic. And there it's about sales. We work with native speakers in those countries. We feel that works best. They understand the culture, the language obviously, but as Dutch you speak the languages, but you don't always understand the culture. And we have decided quite a long time ago to work with people from that country and have knowledge in that market, so that serves best. And here, so from the office, there is support and there is sales also done sometimes in those countries, but basically those sales officers are there to really approach the customers from there. Rumveld Baltic, that's a separate company. It's a packaging company, a daughter company of Rumveld Winter en Konijn in Estonia. And in Estonia we have quite low labor costs, square meter costs, and we have a pretty up-to-date factory over there, serving a little bit the Baltic markets, but mainly serving Scandinavia from there. So Finland and Sweden, it is closer than you think with Estonia, and distributing from there on a pallet cost level is really very good to do. That company has 26 people, and it's about 10 million turnover what they do. But it's a packaging company, so it's about retail packets, and it's about out-of-home packets, horeca, as we call it in Dutch, and probably also in English. So where Rumveld is a supplier of commodities, of raw materials, business to business, we don't pack. We are, in fact, moving the commodities from one to the other, and we do a lot of things around it, obviously, but we keep it in that original packaging, mainly to business as ingredients. Rumveld Baltic pack it ready for supermarkets. Part of our group. Everything clear? so far. Yes.
On the chat there is no question.
Okay. The last in the structure here is Rumfeld Service Center, and the middle and the right picture is about that, and that's obviously our logistics center. So all the goods coming over there. It's situated in the northeast part of the Netherlands. We have purchased a company 10 years ago. They had this facility. We decided to look at it for a year. Does it work from a supply chain, from a cost perspective, from a service perspective? And we looked at, obviously, what is the cost for container from Maasvlakte here to the Rotterdam area, or the cost from Maasvlakte here to a barge, with a barge to the northeast part of the Netherlands, there in terminal, and then supply to our facility. And those costs, they are almost the same. For that reason, we decided mainly to stay there, but also because our added value is about handling the goods, about distributing. It's about understanding the customer requirements, which become more rigid by the day, which become more demanding by the day. And with your own people, and this company had their own people, we found ourselves in a situation where we also bought a structure, we bought a basis, and we bought something which is more than just a logistics service provider. That element is also important for later, for the challenge, because I also mentioned then something on logistic handling. But right now, we really see that with our own people, understanding our requirements, the customer requirements, having our own warehouse distribution center where we also do some processing activities, that works. It's about 6,000 square meters, so not too big, and it handles about 18,000 tons of products on a yearly basis. The rest of the products we do outside that facility. It's a facility which is completely up to date with a warehouse management system. Obviously all the locations, the handling, everything is done by scanning, and the ERP system drives all the processes. As I said, quite an important factor of what we do, because in my view, importing and distributing is a lot about logistics. It's a lot about supply chains. If you look at supermarkets, they are not an importer, but in the end they are known as where you buy your products, but they are logistic champions. This distributing act, they really do fantastically, and there are similarities to what we do. We get the product in bulk, and we split it, we process it, and we reallocate it to our customers. And that requires a lot of attention and logistics intelligence supported by systems. This is at a glance the Rumfeld group. If you take all people together in Steenwijk, we have about 20 to 25 people, depending on the season. Right now, if you look at the origins like China, USA, South America for a part, all those crops are being shipped more or less as from now and from now on. So until February, March, we have quite a busy time in handling in the goods. That makes our storage levels higher, but that obviously needs more people handling that goods than in the low season times during the summer. Yeah, already gave a little bit of that. We are located here in the Netherlands, but working as an importer with sources from all over the world. If you take almonds, pistachios, you look at the USA. If you look at hazelnuts, you look at Turkey, but also to Chile. If you look at macadamia nuts, you look at South Africa, you look at Australia, you even look a little bit to Middle America. If you look at chia or quinoa, quite big products as they have developed. That mainly comes from South America, but also chia is developing in Africa. Cashew nuts, big in Africa, but shipped to Vietnam and India for being packed and then supplied here. So it's really a world covering business, which requires us, depending on the gravity of our activities, to be present. And in China, we are there with two people, as I also said. And you might think, well, China, everything is developed, everything is known. Systems are there, you don't need someone there. But we do, because of the culture, because of the fact that we want to work with companies who we can rely on, who match our quality requirements. And we work with two Chinese people, and they take care of it, that we are really, yeah, we come there once a year, but that's almost more of a courtesy visit, because of course Chinese suppliers like to see the people from here as well. But with Chinese people talking to each other, understanding the rules of the game and the local culture, that works really good with us. And that's why with us it is an important part of our structure. In South America that is less for that reason, also because of the culture, but the fact that there is a Dutch lady there, Evelien. She comes from Nieuwekerk aan de IJssel, so from here, but she was married to a Brazilian guy, and she moved over there, and we tried it to see if it worked with purchase, and it works splendid. She does it already for 8 years. She's kind of a local, you could almost say, and she really travels intensively, takes care of a lot of niche commodities, smaller commodities, which require more attention. Price fluctuation is very well managed with her. And also because we have more of our innovations, our new products in the superfood area from there, that requires a lot of attention and a lot of coaching almost, I would say, which works well when she's there. And of course, she lives in Brazil. South America is a bit bigger, so obviously she travels a lot around. And the other offices I mentioned briefly already, sales offices and in Baltic the packaging facility. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a question.
Good.
Eva would like to know, she's online, that's why I read it to you, how the climate change is challenging your business in terms of crop cycle, yield and availability throughout the year.
Yeah, good question, very good question. Yeah, water is a very costly product. Worldwide, water is maybe the I don't know if it's unknown, but it's maybe underestimated. Water availability is challenging because of climate changes. Also our business heavily, and that comes out with let's say farms, big farms in the origin. In South Africa it works that way, but it works in the US as well. You have, for instance, water rights, which means you can take the allocated volume of water to which you are entitled for your operation. So, because there is not enough, and because it's not there on a structural basis. So that limits growth also for the origins to their businesses. Not only water is the climate impact there, there is also, if you look at Madagascar, our sister company, there they have really heavy storms, which climate change, is it not climate change? They've always been there, but they are there more often, like they are there everywhere. So it blows away sometimes part of the crops. And for vanilla, for instance, in Madagascar it's about 1,400 to 1,600 tons. That's the crop size of Bourbon vanilla in Madagascar. There have been years where half of it has been blown away. And then prices, vanilla is an extreme one, but I always like to tell that one. Vanilla went up from $70 to $20 per kilo. Today, trading at about $600 per kilo. And it has been 800, and it will probably also go down. So, answer to the question is, it does impact, it does have a big influence, and it really is about structures in the origin, water rights, climate changes, can I grow, do I have the right volumes of water and the right starting base from a land perspective to really do my business. So yes, it's impacting heavily. And we notice that in our business because of the availability and consequently the price fluctuations. And my expectation is that that will be more disturbing in the coming years. We notice it now already. And yes.
And I've got another one from Susanna Perry. That's more on the sustainability side and how you do business, I would say. What are the arguments for monocultures and water usage for nuts?
The arguments?
Yeah, that's what she asks. So.
The arguments for monocultures?
Yeah. And water usage for nuts. I don't know exactly what she means, but...
well, the arguments... my interpretation is then why do we grow nuts using water and monocultures then? The most simplest question is there's demand for it, and demand is growing. Nuts in general, if you look at sustainability part of nuts, and if you look at what we do, it's a nice story that you get it from everywhere, but sustainability-wise, it has some impact. I truly do understand that. I come to that also later. And it's also about, in the end, trade is about supply and demand, but not to any cost. And but nuts in general also have kind of additional values, nutritional values. They more and more fit into diets which are also looked at being sustainable. If you look at a substitute for meat, nuts are more and more also seen as a kind of a substitute. And
I guess you can't cycle the crops. It's
no.
By default, it's a monoculture.
Yeah. No, you can't. In that sense, no, you can't. Is that a good answer to the question? Or?
I hope so. I'll check.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Okay. Yeah. So more about our assortment. So you see, if you look at this and you see product assortment, then you see us being, us maybe be more a wholesaler in the end, because we have quite a big assortment, than a trading company buying and selling only. We are an assortment player. That's also an important part to understand when looking at our added value and also looking at the challenge later, because we need customers who appreciate that assortment. Those ones who can buy bigger volumes than themselves directly, they don't need us. If you look at market segments, it's not, as it's stated here, it's not the four of them being in the same category, you would say, but we mentioned it here as the organic part is about 35% right now. The conventional part is today about 65%. Organic growing big time, should be. If you look at our main market segments, then industry, ingredient buyers, business-to-business customers, there's those customers who buy our products, use it as an ingredient to produce their own product. an easy example is quite a good customer of us here is Quaker Oats, the big muesli and muesli producer. They buy our hazelnuts, pecan nuts, tropical fruits, cocoa, to create their own product, being the consumer product, muesli cruci, which you will find in the retail outlets. 70% is from there, and then confectionery, cereal producers, bakeries, all those kind of companies. That's where we focus on. And retail packers are companies who have their retail packaging line supplying to the supermarkets, supplying to the HoReCa, where we are not. So they buy in bulk from us. Those are the main drivers the main segments which drive our business. The remaining part is smaller wholesalers, sometimes even competitors, which have the same business volume, business structure, but miss some products for a while. So this is where we strategically focus on. 65 people, quality team being very important, and in total about 20,000 tons of product, which is about what is it, about 1,100 containers. That makes it maybe a little bit more touchable. A big assortment, as I said. That assortment is part of our added value. Looking at our added value, what do we see as our added value? What do we want our customers to appreciate? Why are they customers and not buyers, as we hope? Because of the assortment. Because of the fact that we take away their default worries, which I explained earlier. But also to import a product, a nut product or another product from the origin is not so easy. For us, we sometimes overlook that added value and say, yeah, well, it's easy. But in the end, it's in fact not, because you don't just start and say, well, hey, that company supplies and I buy. You have to understand what type of company is it. We audit all our suppliers. Do they match our specifications from a technical point of view? Do they match? Is their quality management, is that up to date? Is that up to date with regard to the requirements in the EU? And then, for instance, organic products, pesticides should be 0 or below a certain level. The customs, the import duties, but also the specific import-related actions which you need to take, managing the supply chain from a blockchain perspective. There's quite a lot of things, also an added value, which next to the assortment, the act of importing, getting that act together is something for customers who look for the assortment. The pre-financing part, our shareholder doesn't like to hear that added value, because he doesn't want us to use, he wants us to use as less working capital as we can. Logical from a financial point of view. But yeah, there are obviously many companies who just can't buy full containers of almonds or Brazil nuts. Not because of their stock rotation, but also maybe not because of their finance situation. If you remember the turnover and you see the 21,000 tons, today it's about 4 euros per kilo on average, but chia seed is about $1.50, and pine nuts are about $16 per kilo. So the pre-financing part is important. Also, what you probably read in the introduction or in that paper. You see banks pre-finance, yes, but banks are as risk averse as you can think of. Here I am. I'd like to buy some Brazil nuts in Bolivia. Can you send me? Could you give me a credit facility? Well, the likelihood of that today is quite small, because they see all kinds of risk, which there are. There are banks, and banks have those products where they say, well, we want to do it, but at a interest rate of about the lowest one 7%, the higher one 11% related to the risk. But then we want a closed supply chain circle. So we do pre-finance, but we want securities from the origin. We want to have visited them. And before you, as an importer, get the documents, which represent the value, everything must be paid. So maybe a little bit too detailed, but all strengthening to the added value of pre-finance, being financially able to do this business. Banks support it, but limitedly. A small step out to underline the added value, but as you all are aware of the challenge, I regard it important to really get it into your heads that for us, added value is the reason for being there tomorrow. And with all the changes, we come to that later, in the market, technology driven, but also market driven, that sets requirements to our business model. Looking at transparency in the supply chain. Many of you know what blockchain is, I assume, but for those who maybe would not, it's in fact a system where you can see from the plant to the supermarket outlet, every step in the supply chain. You can see what has been done with the product, to what price has it been traded, well, and some factors next to it. So in fact, it makes it totally visible what comes from where. So why an importer? Well, the reasons are there. I gave you a few. Even the farmer in Madagascar, not to be to downgrade him, but absolutely not. But maybe especially in Africa, people have mobile phones. They have internet access. They know the prices. They know the market prices. They are quite well aware. If they are always up to date to the last market prices in view of the developments worldwide of a commodity, that's different. But it's transparent. Something which I understand this document, Arthur, has been shared before, where Mintech was also mentioned, I think. So the Mintech remark is about big buyers like supermarkets who have an online system where they can see on a daily basis which commodity has been bought yesterday, at what price and at what conditions. So it's open, and when I sit there trying to sell my product to this customer, he has this information. So we must be really bringing something to him to get him to buy still from us. And if he does, dictating is not the word they use, but let's say setting agreements on the prices is what is happening. Transparent pricing is happening. They say, okay, you buy it for that, I know that, or market prices have been this way. You put a little bit of this product with it, or you do that processing step, the packaging cost this. So this should be the price. Well, if you earn then 5%, that seems reasonable. That is really what's happening today. It happens already a little bit longer, but also bringing it back to our role, when so much is visible and when technology is making so much visible, understandable, when the logistics service providers, my previous employer, DHL XL Supply Chain, fantastic company, technology driven, enormously innovative. They look at business models. They already facilitate business models for non-food product groups where, in fact, they say, well, we operate with anyone from where they come, and we manage here your stock. We have this ERP system which you can use working from South America, and you can kind of communicate directly with your customers as you do with email and everything. So where is the role of the importer? Big steps through the landscape maybe, but this is really happening. So all those factors, they put pressure on our role. They put pressure on the need to make sure that we have the understanding of our customers of what is our added value. And not what we think of, well, we have a nice, fantastic assortment, a good building, we have good systems, we are nice people. Yeah, no. The customer, the market and the customer, they decide. And it goes fast. It goes really fast. Yeah. The example, which is maybe already a cliche, but look at what has Amazon and bol.com done. No, Amazon, Holland, bol.com. It has really disrupted hugely. When I put these questions, these challenges, of which we are talking today, in our company, there are also voices and people who say, well, yeah, it won't go so fast. We have knowledge, we have experience, we know what the market is going to do. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. We'll see. And I'm really curious what this week brings that for new understanding and insights and thoughts from your side. Important slide, strategic positioning. The traditional supply chain on the left, you see all the individual roles. Obviously it starts with the farmer. For smaller commodities where there is no infrastructure, like Brazil nuts, like vanilla, you need a collector. People going into the bush with their scooters, collecting 20, 30, 40, 60 kilos, cash money, collectors. In really areas where it is not developed and where products are grown in the wild, like Brazil nuts and vanilla, you see this happening. Collectors bring it to a processor or a packer in the origin. Sometimes those roles are also won. And the processor or the packing has nothing to do with the packer with us or the processor with us. But that's the company who collects all the bulk product, the raisins, the hazelnuts, the almonds, they all come from the field, put into big bins, delivered to the factories, to the processors, to the exporters, and there they start to clean them, they start to distinguish different types of one product. We know one cashew nut, but there are 10 types of cashew nuts in the business. So that's already done there. They put it into a packaging which is right for transport. So a lot from there. Sometimes the exporter and the processor are different roles. Today, more and more it's one. Mainly those exporters, and because the origin suppliers are getting bigger and bigger, they handle it themselves. So that's also an important development in view of the challenge. You see origin suppliers of bigger commodities, they also grow scale. They grow scale because of cost, efficiency and productivity, but they also grow scale because of the climate impact which I explained. We don't have enough water rights, but we only can produce 100 tons. With 100 tons we cannot make a living, so we have to combine forces. So bigger and bigger origin parties in that sense. When they get really bigger, then they are quite able to talk to our customers directly. A broker is sometimes used, what I say, the exporter can do it themselves, but the broker is sometimes used for smaller commodities. So when you could compare it when you buy a house, you need someone in between, a commissioner or a broker. Well, that's also in our business, a role which gets less important. Then it comes to the importer, and you see, if you look at the middle model, that I filled in the role of exporter to packer with us. And that's a little bit ambitious, but it is. We are exporters sometimes because we do co-finance, we do cooperate, we do pre-finance, I would better say, and work as a 100% partner with an exporter, so that what he does, what he collects, the product he prepares is for us. So then we see ourselves in the supply chain as an exporter. Back to the total traditional supply chain model. Importer, stockholder, what we do, we have the assortments. Then the broker is sometimes used to sell the product. As the products sometimes need to be roasted or need to be re-cleaned even, or need to be mixed, you use a value adder. This is not always the case, but in the total traditional supply chain it should be there. The distributor comes into place. We are also all of that. The packer, and then you have to think of a packer which is preparing it for the retail. Or you bring it to the industrial customer, what we mainly do. The packer brings it to retail, as I said, and then it comes to the end customer, which is us. What I hear, simply not integrated, but it's getting also much more important with the Amazons, the online sales. The online sales already disrupt our supply chain. We have 3 pretty fast-growing customers with whom we cooperate intensively. Online sellers. They have all kind of doubled or tripled or even more their turnover. And there we try as an importer, as a stockholder, as a pre-financer, to use our value-added role with that customer segment to say, well, okay, what you do is sometimes you pack, mostly they pack themselves, and you manage your online sales structure with everything around it. We know nothing about it. We know what it works like, looking from the consumer perspective. But they manage that part of their business so important, and we manage the basics for them, which could mean stockholder. We say, well, we put our stocks in your warehouse as a consignment stock. So you can take from it, because sometimes when something goes online with Amazon or with someone else, a product goes really fast, and then you have to supply and supply and supply, which is kind of sometimes a chaotic logistic process. So we said, from the basic products, we put consignment stock with you, and you can take from that, and by the end of the week you say, oh, this is what I used, send me an invoice for that. Why do I mention this? Because it's also part of our added value role, which we can deliver. If we say we don't do that, then the online seller would use us and maybe a little bit more of our competitors, because we cannot fulfill all their needs. We try to take more in-house of roles of our customers to take care of the basics, enabling them to enroll their business models where they are good at. And this consignment stock example is also valid for a few producers. And with Quaker Oats, for instance, we have insourced a basic process which they didn't want to do anymore. Why do we do that? Not because no, why do we want to do it? Because it is our value-added role. It's your partner role. You also try to get more into the customer. If you do that, this example with, for instance, with Quaker Oats, with PepsiCo, for me that was an eye-opener. It was already 6 years ago that we started that. Big companies, formal procedures, and we had a meeting with another group, and to make a long story short, we transferred from a raw material supplier to an ingredient supplier for them. And I thought, well, is that just administrative? No. As an ingredient supplier, you are more in their supply chain. You are more integrated into their process, which may be a little bit basic and a little bit defensive argument, but which makes it not so easy for them to kick us out. So bringing that added value brings a more solid position in the supply chain, which we can fill in with our customers. The future supply chain is already what we do on a small scale, but looking at the challenge, we see with origin suppliers growing bigger and bigger and bigger, logistics service providers, bigger customers, people working directly together, that we could there lose part of our role. So we are looking at, do we need to integrate more in the origin as well? Well, we made the decision we don't do that by owning land or managing operations, simply because we're not big enough for that. A company which you should Google, I think, because of their strategy change and because of the fact that they are able to do it, is Olam, O-L-A-M. They really transferred to another business model. They did this. They in fact transferred themselves from an importer to an origin supplier. We would want to do that for niche commodities where we can distinguish ourselves. We stay away from the big commodities like almonds, like cashews. It's too big, we cannot distinguish ourselves. But smaller commodities, when we have this preferred position and we can get the origin supply a little bit closer to ourselves because we pre-finance, we act as partners, then we take that part of the supply chain also with us, which makes our role stronger. Okay. Still, okay, yeah. I go a bit faster. Yeah, the next slides, apart from the real sustainable part, which I will then mainly use for those 10 minutes, are a bit what I think have said until now. So long-term supplier partnerships, one-stop shop, the assortment, efficient supply chain which focus on sustainability. Everything you buy with us is 100% traceable. This is the reason why we want our customers to buy. Temperature controlled warehouses, and you cannot just import it, put it somewhere and bring it out. You need it to be at 65% moisture. You need it to be at 13 to 14 degrees to keep it 12 to 18 months in good shape. Quality. Quality is not something you can just say, of course you know that, but you always need to, in these days you need to certify yourself. We are certified BRC, British Retail certification, which is then you are audited and approved according to British Retail certification level, which is quite a high level. You also have IFS, maybe you've heard of that. You have various systems, but you need to kind of pick out one of them just to even be and remain at the table. SEDEX and SMETA, probably you know that, but if not, then please do Google that. That's about sustainability. That's about being part of a sustainability community and also brings obligations. SMETA even goes deeper. We had to do that for one customer who wanted us to also present our salary overviews, our employment benefits, working hours. So SMETA is auditing throughout the supply chain how you deal with that. And EcoVadis is an important one. We just started the cooperation 2 months ago, and that's about sustainability. Maybe I put the next slide. No, I'll take the previous one still. Sustainability is something which drives our world, which is influencing our business big time. So we want to work with origin suppliers, with farmers who work sustainable. No child labor, no messing around with certificates, CO2 footprint levels managed and improved, and so on and so forth. We can audit that, which we do, but when we come, it's a bit far away, so everybody knows that we come. So when we come and see, everything is fine. That's a fact. If we would come coincidentally 1 week earlier, which we once did, but it was not so well accepted. It really made the people a bit angry, because it really took distrust in us with them. But if we come, everything is fine. So we have EcoVadis, also something to Google to understand what their role is. But they kind of neutrally assess our suppliers and look whether they work up to the standards that we require. So you also get a certain label. How good are you? So if we say, well, customer, we work as sustainable as we can because of this is what we do ourselves, but with the origin we make sure that our suppliers also do the maximum or have programs which they are following and developing, and we have that assessed neutrally by EcoVadis, and that's well accepted. That's well accepted. That's important for us. 35% of our business is organic, but organic becomes mainstream in my view with many product groups, and especially the product groups which come from traditional agro importing supply chains. If it will also be here what is produced in the EU, I don't think so automatically. The Green Deal, the Farm to Fork, the policy of the EU is very ambitious. And for sure they will come far, but it's kind of maybe easier to manage what comes from outside of your borders by reducing pesticide levels, which is happening. So in future for some product groups we even think conventionals may be even impossible, because organic is the only thing that is accepted. For us important, we want to grow seriously in that, also with acquisitions. And we are member of a few organizations, BioNext, BioNetherlands, which are Dutch organizations. We are SCOL approved, which means that the authorities have said to us, you work according to organic standards. In every country you have that. Opta is the European organization where we are a member. And we are a member of the German branch organization. Why in Germany everything is bigger, but also the organic market is bigger, and they have a very active organic work group structure there, which benefits from us, so we are a member of that too. 35% of our business organic. Ambition is to grow to 50%. The Green Deal and the Farm to Fork strategy really fuel that ambition. Obviously, it's not only because we have to. And maybe I sound a little bit like we have to. No, it's also because we feel that with our own sustainability goals, organic is the way to go. A little bit of those in slides to come, but maybe because of the time a little bit too detailed. But pesticides, CO2. All those, I would say, standard sustainability goals are in our business as well as targets. And organic is a big driver for that because it kind of automatically has a lot of it integrated. I think I mentioned this, but apart from Rumfeld being, I would say, focus on that mainly in the challenge, what we do as an importer. We also have with sister companies the ability to pack, and there we have specific organic product lines and assortments. Then our own sustainability program. We are a relatively small company. If bigger companies like Unilever, Arctic comes from, these programs are taken up much earlier, and they are driving it, they are innovating it. For us as a smaller company, we needed quite a little bit of time to integrate it more as something which is in our business, in our daily business to business operations, and not something to tick off. Yeah, we have certification, and yes, we also do something about sustainability because we donate some money. No, sustainability has to be an integrative part of your business, and with the EcoVadis steps and looking into the supply chains, we have made quite a few steps in the last years and last months especially. We have our own, as we call them, future fit goals. Well, too detailed and too much maybe to look at. But I would say logical goals when you look at an agro importer. Probably this presentation is sent, yeah. So you can look at it a little bit more detailed, but when you guys knowledgeable in sustainability, I think you should definitely recognize those targets, and even more when you more understand of the agricultural import business model. We have our own sustainability sourcing program. I think I mentioned with EcoVadis, Selex and Smeta what that is also about. This is more detail, enforcing and explaining and being the basis of that program. I would say read that carefully, and well, I will be here also on Wednesday, but do you have questions, don't hesitate. And EcoVadis, what I mentioned, and that's what we do only 2 months around that, they focus on these 4 pillars, which are in fact everything that should be looked at when you are sourcing sustainably. And in our business line, it is something which is on a broader scale really going faster and faster. The name Olam, which I mentioned, if you look at them, they are really leaders. Also something to look at is the Sustainable Nut Initiative. Also Google that. There you see some smaller parties. But if you look at European companies as a whole, I think we are kind of lagging, being a little bit behind. In all modesty, as Rumfeld, we are a little bit ahead, but there are still quite some companies who say, well, yeah, it's something which I don't bother too much about. Apart from my role at Rumfeld, I'm also president of the Dutch branch organization, and in that role also having a role in the European branch organization. And there, especially in the European one, this sustainability topic is kind of touched in an early stage, where we're inventorizing what is going on and who does what is done by branch organizations locally, and there's a lot of work to be done in our field, in that sense, in our specific nuts, dried fruits field. Yeah, this is something which in our group we have our Trivium Foundation, which is where we say, we call it Trivium, so there is no relation to Rumfeld or to Monchi. We don't want to do it because of a commercial reason. Look how good we are. Of course, you hope. My personal opinion is, it doesn't matter to mingle it a bit, because if it makes the Trivium gets more powerful, and if it makes that the good origin suppliers which we support with our projects get stronger, then why not? Money is an important foundation to get something done. And we look here with projects and with suppliers to, especially to education, sports and healthcare. I think in the next slide, yeah, we have one in Brazil, Bolivia, Madagascar. This is the Bolivian one I know best because that's Rumfeld related. As I said, Brazil nuts in the bush. Brazil nuts from Bolivia, in the bush. So a factory built in the bush. People come there with their families, but the seasonal workers was the structure until now. So people come there, their families are where they are, and they go when the work is over. And next year other people come, so you don't build on experience. Long story short, we have supported that the families can also come. Some houses are built and a school, not only by ourselves, but we did it with more partners. And also, it is more kind of a town which is created in that bush. I've not been there myself. My colleague has been there. Also to create a supermarket, to create other businesses. So then also employment is starting to grow there, so that people can stay there, their children can stay there because they have education. That's the sense around it, to get the level of living to a more acceptable level, if you like. And we are part of this. So I think the challenge has been mentioned a few times. I explicitly mentioned it when I thought I need to mention it now, because the challenge relates to that. I hope it was clear and is clear enough. And with all those developments and factors that impact and that will impact and that will bring us opportunities, because we have to look at opportunities, where will it go? And the question to you is, what is a sustainable business model? Sustainable in the sense, as we talk about sustainability, obviously, but also sustainable, we want to exist tomorrow as well. How do we do that?
Excellent.
Thank
you very much, Dirk-Jan.
Okay.
So already online, I've got a couple of questions. So let's start first with that, and then you guys can raise your hand, and we'll make sure that the mic will get you there, so that you can ask them. So one in there was a question whether you would be looking for specialization in terms of niche sourcing. Yes or no?
Yes, for sure. That's also where our role is needed. I think I mentioned with almonds and hazelnuts and cashew nuts. Look at the Olam business model. There we are blown away. Big commodities, but niche commodities, new commodities. There are also a few on the program I saw, with the maca powder and camu and well, chia and quinoa also started off from there. That's where we want to be. That's where we should be. That's where we have a role, and that's where we can have the value-added role and earn something. Bluntly said. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Another question was, is in your day-to-day practices a lot of subcontracting happening, and if so, how transparent is that in the chain overall visible?
Yeah, subcontracting definitely. Well, blockchain is about making that totally transparent. But in today's world, if you like, maybe some of you have seen when you read the Dutch newspaper, there were some issues on sesame seed last weeks. Big problems. Why do I say that? Then the Dutch health authorities, the European health authorities, come to it. They come to the companies who trade that product, who distribute that product, and then you have to be able to bring back every part of the supply chain immediately in your ERP system. You have to say, well, it comes from here, there, and there. He took it over. So those subcontracting things must be visible. If you say, well, we bought it from this guy, but I don't know exactly from whom he bought it or where it went over there, then you're out. Then no. Subcontracting, yes, is part of trading. Market fluctuates, so it's not always about buying cheapest in bigger volumes, buying at the right time. So if a market does this, then like in the stock exchange, you have to make sure you buy at the right time. The company that buys cheapest is not automatically the company that imports themselves. So timing is everything. And because of that fact, some lots go into different hands over time, subcontracting. Yeah. But always the chain must be 100% fully traceable. That's required.
Okay. So let's go to the auditorium.
Yeah, I will ask a question. First, you talked about the DC in Steenwijk here in the Netherlands, and you also said something on value-added services that you do there, but it seems also that you do a lot of outsourcing there, because the space and also the number of people is limited.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because I understand that it is challenging in the or let's say in the sourcing and world already, but how is it here in the Netherlands?
Yeah, good question, and maybe something which I indeed didn't bring over in sufficient depth, but processing is definitely an important part of what we do. But processing we see as in our role as something which we do ourselves, yes, and what we do ourselves mainly is processing raisins. So raisins which in the Dutch bakery industry they need to be having a certain moisture level, sometimes they need to be re-cleaned. For confectionery companies we mix it with other products. For this big muesli producer we put a glycerination coating around it, making sure the moisture level doesn't move, so the muesli remains crispy and the raisin soft. So raisin processing. But we definitely do act and like to see ourselves as a kind of processing supply chain director in that sense. So you buy with us, you want it according to this specification. We have quite a lot of knowledge in Europe, who does what and who is specialized in what. In our business you also have smaller specialized processors who do things which some customers require, and then we manage that. So we manage that in our ERP system, but in fact physically the goods go out and go over there and they come back. What we do in Steenwijk is purely on raisin processing, and in Steenwijk next to that it is about handling the full logistics, and the team is pretty modest, yes, but there are flexible layers depending on seasonality. So, but more than 30 people are mostly not around there. That's how we manage it. Yeah. And with this business size it works. Yeah.
So I have a question. Where would you see yourself in 3 years ideally? Like, what would be your ideal scenario?
With Rumveld in 3 years. That we are reaching our future fit goals. Which we have defined recently only, which you are sometimes even about to redefine, but that we have stated that we have really work up to the future fit goals, fully integrated with the EcoVadis platform, being a bit bigger than 50% organic through acquisitions, I would hope, having probably adjusted our business model on some areas of which we think, I don't think it's that I should mention that here now because I'd like to hear from you, to make sure that we are stronger tomorrow. But because of course disruption and changes are bringing threats, but they also bring a lot of opportunities, and that's in business I also always have to think. But organic, more sustainable, more integrated in the source, and from a company size, we would hope that would, because of the acquisition, the organic acquisition, be in our business plan it's 125 million plus. And that's not because it's a good story, it's also because you need this scale to be able to manage your cost, to get good people, to hold them, to invest in your ERP systems, to also to manage health risk claims. We feel that we are a little bit on the edge right now. Yeah.
Okay. I got 2 questions more. One is, can you give an example of an application of blockchain in Rumveld? Well,
as Rumveld, we don't manage our own blockchain in the sense that we have we have an application for that in place, but we do work with more customers where we have to, let's say, where we have to fill in their blockchain, how do you call it? Their blockchain information to make it transparent from the plant to the customer. But what we do have, and that is in fact the blockchain, we know from every single nut and every single seed or piece of dried fruit, we know where it is, where it came from, and that even goes to from what piece of land from that specific farmer has it been grown and cultivated and shipped. So we don't have a blockchain application ourselves. We are also even not so sure if that's required, but look at it, yeah, exactly. Definitely. Yeah. But we definitely are up to date by filling in the information of providing the information to our customer who do operate with a blockchain system. Yeah.
Okay, I got another one which is, I think, very interesting. Which value, discipline, let's say, is your business currently focusing on? Is that cost leadership, customer intimacy, or product leadership style?
Yeah, in fact, all three of them are. I think if you miss out on one, then you're dead tomorrow.
I think that says it all. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So, but there is emphasis, of course, today, but that's more driven by these months, COVID. Costs are important. We are part of this group. Obviously, in my role, you get pressure from the shareholder, from supervisory board. How do you manage it? Well, you should have done that always in the right way and have focus there. But my view is, and we should better limit that. Why? Because this is temporary, and we will come out. We will come out as a company. And if we cut off elements, then we put ourselves back in history. That's one. And secondly, but that's more personal, with this team, with this group of people, we've come this way. And we're not going just for a few months or less return on capital, just kicking out a few. That's not. Then they should hire someone else. But of course, this cannot last for 3 years. I cannot. But for the short term, I think it is. So for the short term, it's cost leadership, and customer intimacy. Digitally is more difficult. Product innovation is more difficult because we cannot travel. The communication is limited in that sense to grow and develop.
A simple question, yes or no, will survive, will be sufficient. Do you own your warehouse or do you rent them?
And we own it.
I just read what is the question.
We own it from the sense that everything within the walls is ours, including the people, but we rent the building.
Okay, clear. Yeah. Thanks. So, over to the auditorium, and then
I think it's going to stop now, the live streaming. So just some operational stuff. Those offline, we will call you when we get into the Teams. So we will call you in, just in case it stops broadcasting. Okay, guys, thank you so much. This was a very nice presentation. Please, maybe we can upload.
Thank you.
So what we will do now is we will have the break, and then you come back, and then we will let you know how you're going to meet with your coaches and how we will get the online students with you guys in your teams. All right? Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay. Thank you. And good luck.
No pressure.
Yeah?
No pressure.
Oh, there are expectations, but no pressure.
Well, maybe you will find a solution, guys.
Yeah. They keep it for themselves then maybe, because you can start your own business. No, we'll see.
This was really, really, really good.
Thank you.
I can make stuff.
I found now how the press is really long and then it goes off. Ja, oké. Nou, mooi. Ik had nog een paar vragen, maar die heb ik al zelf beantwoord online. Anders dan duurt het allemaal te lang. Ja, precies. Dus dat gaat helemaal goed. Nou, ik ben benieuwd. Ja, ik wil dat ook uitgekomen. Dus, het lijkt me, de uitdaging is groot genoeg, denk ik. Dus ze zeiden al van maar dat is wel heel groot. Dus kunnen we op iets kleins focussen. Ja, jongens.
Get into the real world.
Ja, precies. Daarom heet het een pressure cooker.
Ja, nee, maar het is natuurlijk ook wel heel groot. Dat merk ik bij die HBL-gasten ook. Daar maak ik het wel kleiner en gefocust. Want het ene groepje alleen maar op organic en de andere groepje ook. Anders dan worden ze...
Maar dat weet je, maar dat
kun je niet meer overzien, dat snap ik ook wel. Ja. Zo.
We moeten even afstemmen hoe of dat woensdag te doen met de Q&A.
Ja.
Of we dat online doen of offline.
Oké.
Ja. Ja, het wordt nu chaos.
Wat doe je?
Jezus, een organisatie, man. Ziek je op, man.
Zie ik je zo bij lunch hebben.
Ja.
Ja.
Maar dan moet je niet naar mij gaan appen voor waar is de lunch nou, hè?
Natuurlijk wel.